What do you think about a Negro moving into the community of Cicero?
It's gonna start a lot of trouble.
You think so?
Sure.
Why?
Well, you got a peaceful neighborhood, you don't want the colored people to ruin it for you. It's a clean neighborhood, and we don't want, no trouble from nobody, huh?
Summer, 1951. Harvey Clark Jr., a 29-year-old black World War II veteran and bus driver, believed he was doing the right thing, moving his wife, Johnetta, and their 2 small children out of overcrowded Chicago tenements into a better life in the suburbs of Cicero, Illinois. What happened next became one of the ugliest race riots of the 20th century, a chilling reminder that even in America, even the dream of a better home could become a nightmare if you were black. Harvey signed a lease for an apartment in Cicero, a working-class white suburb where no black family had ever lived. The landlord agreed to rent to him, but the local police did not. When Harvey's family arrived, Cicero police blocked the door, guns drawn, telling them to leave for their safety. But Harvey knew his rights. He got a court order. Days later, the Clarks moved in, and the neighborhood exploded. On move-in day, Cicero police showed up before the Clarks could unpack. They forced Harvey and his family to leave at gunpoint, claiming it was for their safety. The landlord tried to stand up for them, but was threatened herself. When Harvey and Johnetta insisted on their legal right to stay, word spread through Cicero like wildfire. The Negroes had moved in. Within days, a white mob gathered outside the apartment building. The Clarks huddled inside with their children, listened in terror as rocks smashed through the windows and angry voices threatened to burn them out. On July 11th, the mob exploded. More than 4,000 white residents swarmed the apartment building. They hurled bricks, broke down doors, and threw the Clarks' furniture into the street and set it ablaze. The family had already fled for their lives, but the landlord's building was gutted. Police and firemen mostly stood by doing little to stop the destruction. For 2 nights, the mob ruled Cicero's streets. National headlines reported the horror. America's North, not Jim Crow's South, was burning to keep a black family out. Imagine the fear Harvey and Johnetta felt, wondering if someone would throw a match through a window while their children slept, wondering if standing up for the right to live would cost them their lives. They were forced to leave Cicero, homeless again, but they refused to be silenced. Harvey testified before a grand jury, exposing not just the riot, but the police and politicians who looked the other way. Though no rioters were convicted for the violence, the landlord who rented to them was indicted instead, proof of how deep the hatred ran. The Cicero race riot of 1951 wasn't some distant southern tragedy. It was a brutal reminder that racism knew no borders. The Clarks' ordeal showed the world how violently white communities would cling to segregation, even outside the old Confederacy. Their story fueled calls for stronger fair housing laws, and their courage inspired future families who refused to be boxed in by hate. Today, the Clark stand reminds us that freedom doesn't end at the ballot box or the battlefield. It lives and breathes in every home where family dares to sleep without fear. We remember them not for what they endured, but for what they proved. A single family's courage can reveal a nation's deepest truths.